Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing here at Bristol Motor Speedway in the Xfinity Series as well as the Cup Series. But to start this episode off, we have some breaking news here in the Career Mode involving a former NASCAR Cup Series team, Red Bull Racing. They will be returning to the Cup Series in the Career Mode next season here with a one-car team, not two cars, just one car, and it will be the number 83. And I'm going to show you guys, I myself am actually making the paint scheme for the game, and here is currently what I have right here. The number will probably look a little bit different, and then of course it'll be tweaked to actually look more polished and whatnot, but that is currently what I got going, and then the monster stuff will be gone and whatnot. But let me know what you guys think of that and what your thoughts are on Red Bull returning to the career mode next season. Cannot wait for that to happen now, as that is the first new team announcement coming to the career mode. There will be, I can say, probably one more later in this season now, as there's definitely some more silly season news that's going to come out. Of course, we've had Martin Truex Jr.'s retirement become a thing. He will be retiring at the end of this season in the career mode. Now we have Red Bull coming back to NASCAR, and there might be one more retirement announcement on the way, and then, like I said, a new team at least, but maybe some team changes coming up, or should I say roster changes with new drivers going to different teams and whatnot. But we come through into the Bristol Motor Speedway weekend here with our custom team in the Xfinity Series, and we have had a bit of a rough start, to say the least, here to our rookie season as an owner on the Xfinity side of things. And I was in the car here at Bristol. As you guys know, Bristol hands down my best track in the career mode now here in the Cheddar's 300. We were moving up into the 4th place, but like I said, a rough start to the season so far, but we were looking to change that around here today in Bristol as I got into the back actually of the 98 of Hailie Deegan as we went down into turn 3. She goes for a bit of a slide, makes a good save though as we come through out of turn 4, now going down this front straightaway. So we would just kind of slowly move our way forwards here as this race was going on. We would get towards the top 3. We were actually 3 wide on the exit of turn 2 for a brief moment there as Deegan actually backed out of it, and then we got up to the right hand side there of the 39 for a brief moment, but we would just finally start to work our way down to the inside. Now we would make a pass on the 18 car here through the center of 1 and 2, and out of turns 2 we would now try to run down the 39 of Ryan Sieg, and we would get into a bit of a side-by-side battle here with Ryan Sieg as we came through at a turn 4, to the point where I decided that we would have to actually try a slide job here into turn 1, so I would pull it off, and actually we pulled it off very well now as we come through, take the lead out of turns 2, and now after a rough start to the season, we come through to the final lap of this race here in the Cheddar's 300 at Bristol Motor Speedway, leading the way through 3 and 4 for the final time, and out of turn 4, we would come through to pick up our first win as an Xfinity Series owner here, and of course it was even better with myself being able to drive us to victory lane here today in the Cheddar's 300. So very cool to pick up that victory, of course, here at Bristol Motor Speedway. What I said earlier already, pretty much my best track in NASCAR Heat 5 and even back to like NASCAR Heat 2 or something like that. But now we come through to check out the finishing order there. Justin Haley managed to get through into the 2nd position now, as you see the rest of the order on your screen. Sam Mayers had a really rough start to his rookie season for JRM. I didn't change the driver rating actually from Zane Smith to Sam Mayer, so I'm very surprised to see Mayer struggling so much. When we come through now into the Cup Series side of things, we have the Pepsi colors back on the car here. You guys, so far this Pepsi paint scheme has been a fan favorite among the community here for the career mode, so we brought it back here today in Bristol as we come through into qualifying. The goal was a 15.814 as we come through into turns 3, and now out of turn 4 we usually put down a pretty good lap here, and sure enough we come through to beat our goal with a 15.696, and we qualify P7 for the Food City 500 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. So a very strong qualifying effort now as you see the rest of the qualifying order. Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch on the front row, Burton and DiBenedetto on row number 2, Bubba Wallace there just in P11 as Harvick rounded out the top 10 as we go down the rest of the order. Logano with a rough qualifying effort, and in the very bottom of the field we got Timmy Hill. So now we get ready to take the green flag here in Bristol. And have you ever wondered what this track looks like in Microsoft Flight Simulator? That's what it looks like. It's nothing. It's just, I don't know how to explain that now here. As we come through, though, here into the Food City 500 at Bristol Motor Speedway. Alright, boys, I think this is probably our best chance to get our first win of the season together. So let's see what we can do today. Stay out of trouble, stay away from the 22 car, and I think we'll be in pretty good shape. There you heard myself on the radio just kind of saying that I definitely think this is our best opportunity to pick up our first victory of the season with this Hendrick Motorsports Racing team that we came over from Joe Gibbs Racing, of course, to join this team this season now. As you see, Joey Gase has been dominant all weekend now, surprisingly now, as no one sent to the bank for this race now. Everybody got through inspection well. No one gave up the qualifying position or missed driver intros or anything now as we get ready to take the green flag here from the 7th starting position in the Bristol Motor Speedway now as the green flag is out and we are underway here at Bristol Motor Speedway. And immediately you notice on my right hand side, Kyle Larson has a brand new modded paint scheme in the career mode here. It's based off of Alex Bowman's Chevy Goods paint scheme, and this modded paint scheme, as you can see right there, a good view of it, it was made by NHG_Eric on Twitter. I'll put his Twitter handle right here on the screen for you guys to see, and then I'll probably put it in the description as well if you want to maybe go give him a follow. But he's actually been giving me a few templates to use here in the career mode, so you'll see other ones throughout the season, like a Bubba Wallace Dr. Pepper scheme with that 23 car and whatnot. So keep an eye out for that, and thank you, Eric, for giving me this paint scheme to use in the career mode. Now is Kyle Larson already out of turn 2, moving his way forwards now, as you'll also see the HendrickCars.com car still on track for the majority of the season here as we come through out of turn 4, clearing the 4 of Harvick, the 2014 Cup Series champion now. As we came through though on lap 4, decided to kind of follow Larson up on the outside. Usually that's where I'm better, but unfortunately Eric Almirola was able to get into the mix, get up my inside, and actually pass me, so I dropped down to the 9th position here on the 5th lap. And then we come through though, making this outside line work after a few laps. We would actually get back past Almirola, get to the outside of the 95 of Harrison Burton, pass him, and then myself and Larson move up into 6th and 7th place here as I would try to run him down. I knew that I was probably faster than Larson at this point in the race, but he was doing a really good job here as we come through on lap 11. Now I go up the inside. Now we're going to be side by side with our Hendrick Motorsports teammate of Larson down the front straightaway, and of course myself and Larson, the 2 new drivers to this team this season, but it feels like myself and Larson have already been the best drivers on Hendrick Motorsports this season. Bowman has had speed, but he's had some bad luck with some DNFs and whatnot from mechanical failures. Elliott, he's just been downright struggling, and we hope to see him get better now within the coming races as we come through now on lap 15. I decided we had to try a slide job on Larson like we did in the Xfinity race. Made it work there because we were really struggling to get past him there on that bottom line, which I knew would be a struggle as I can always, make passes pretty easy on the outside, but when I'm on the bottom here, it just does not seem to work for me. Now as we come through though, already past the halfway point in stage 1, we now run down lap traffic as we came through to lap 20 of this first and opening stage. Up in the 6th position, running down 5th place and 4th place of Matt DiBenedetto, as well as our former teammate of Denny Hamlin now, as we were just continuing to close the gap as they kind of struggled to get through the lap traffic as Kyle Busch was currently leading the way as we come through to 8 laps to go. A little bit closer there to the back of DiBenedetto and Hamlin, but they still had a good gap here between myself and them now, as we had put Austin Dillon a lap down, who's having a really rough race here today in Bristol. After the speed he showed at the end of last season, I thought he'd be better, but he's been struggling a little bit here this season. But we come through to 3 laps to go on the stage. We now run down Hamlin and DiBenedetto as we come through out of turn 4. DiBenedetto showing some strong speed here today as well in Bristol, as he's had a chance to win here in real life. Couldn't make it happen. He got his first career win last season in the career mode at the Coca-Cola 600. Now today he looks for career win number 2 as we come through down into turns 3 and 4, approaching the final lap of stage 1 to the outside of Hamlin, who gets stuck behind Daniel Suarez, who just recently picked up his first career victory. Now here he is running 34th today, so a very rough day for Daniel Suarez as we exit turn 2, clearing Hamlin down the back straightaway into turn 3. I was trying to go up the inside of DiBenedetto, but he covers us off very well into turns 3 and out of turn 4, so we're going to have to settle here behind DiBenedetto as we come through to cross the line to finish stage 1 in the 5th position. Strong speed so far, boys. I don't know if we have a car that's capable of winning the race right now, but I think stage 2 is going to be a great opportunity to find out. There you heard myself on the radio to the team as you see the stage order. So Martin Truex Jr. rounded out the top 3. Keselowski actually beat Kyle Busch at the end of that first stage for a playoff point. Now as Harrison Burton rounds out the top 10. Harvick up there in 8th, Almirola 7th, and our teammate Kyle Larson there in the 9th position as we come through into the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 tires. I didn't want to make any adjustments because the car felt good there, so I really felt like stage 2 was going to be our opportunity to learn if we had anything. Now as you see, a bunch of cars already a lap down, including Cole Custer, the rookie of Zane Smith as well, Daniel Suarez. Basically, it was like 30th to 31st on back as we gained 3 positions on the pit lane due to Kyle Busch and Truex having terrible pit stops. So it's been a very large gift to us now as we get ready for stage 2 as we go into the amped segment.
got Clear there. Hold your line, got one inside. Keep hitting your mark. You'll keep getting better. Got one outside now. Careful, still there.
There you had the amp segment right there. You saw all what happened on the restart. Still running P2 up the inside of Brad Keselowski as we exit turn 4 side by side at the line as we start the 5th lap. We're actually going to go for the slide job for the lead into turn 1 and we make it work, but DiBenedetto actually gets up my inside as we exit turn 2 going down the back straightaway into turn 3. So a nice move on Brad Keselowski right there, but now DiBenedetto is coming through out of turn 4. We are going to come through to lead the lap there as we go into turn 1, but clearly that number 10 for Stuart Haas Racing has a bunch of speed as I actually get into the outside wall, give up the lead to Matt DiBenedetto now as we would actually settle in behind him a little bit. Kyle Larson, though, he would actually climb all the way up into 3rd place, get up into the mix here by the time we came through to the 9th lap of the 2nd stage. Keselowski running down in 4th. Now as Larson, he's going to get by me as I clip the wall ever so slightly on the exit of turn 2, and now he's even going to go past Matt DiBenedetto as I got into the back of the 10 car. He actually hits the outside wall on the exit of turn 2, so now I move up into 2nd place. That was a bit of my mistake there as I just briefly got into the back of the 10, and unfortunately he hit the outside wall on the exit of the corner, but now it was myself and Kyle Larson on a 2-car runaway in the battle for the stage 2 victory at this point as we came through to 12 laps to go into lap traffic. Suarez right in my path as that would now get down to the bottom as we came through out of turn 2. So now it was just down to between myself and Larson about who can work their way through the traffic better, and as of right now you can clearly see Larson was doing a much better job than I was as I tried to get up the inside there of the 3 of Austin into turn 1, sending him a little bit sideways there, but fortunately he would keep the car in the right direction as we came through, though, with 9 laps to go on the stage. Now myself and Larson kind of got on our own for a little bit, but you see all the lap traffic in front of us here. We already knew what was coming now as we would sure enough get into the lap traffic once again. Now as we come through at a turn 4, Larson behind the 34 of McDowell as we go down into turn 1 with 6 laps to go on the stage, and Larson decides to stay in behind McDowell, leaves the door wide open for myself here to take the preferred lane and what is faster now because he's got a car in his way. So we're going to come through to take the lead from our Hendrick Motorsports teammate of Kyle Larson with just a handful of laps to go now in the 2nd stage. So we would really have no pressure from that number 5 of Larson for the rest of stage 2 as he just got stuck in traffic. So we come through to 2 laps to go now in stage 2 behind the 32 of Corey LaJoie as Larson doing everything he can to run us down, but of course just the way he is getting through traffic, he's not going to be able to do it as I get into the outside wall there through turns 3 unfortunately, but we come through now crossing the line to start the final lap in stage 2 right on the back of Brandon Jones, the rookie driver for that number 96 car, as we go down the back straightaway into turn 3 for the final time right on the back of the 17 of Chris Buescher, but I decided to just kind of chill behind him here and let him stay on the lead lap as we come through to win stage 2 for a 2nd stage victory of the season.
2nd stage win of the season, Gary, at your best track too. Think you can pull off the win today?
Hey Jay, yeah, I think we're certainly going to find out very soon if we can do that. Now the car is feeling pretty good. Honestly, I don't know if we have the best car, but other guys like Kyle Busch and Truex kind of got messed over, and I don't even think they're in the top 10 yet. So if it stays like that, honestly, I think it's going to be between myself, maybe Larson, and DiBenedetto. So we're going to give it everything we got here, and hopefully we can pick up win number 1 with this 2014 with these Pepsi colors on the car. So yeah, we'll go see what we can do. There you heard the broadcast booth coming in to our car radio there to just do the quick stage and interview with the stage winner, which was us finally. Now it was actually Martin Truex Jr. is in P3, so he is close enough to put the attack on, and actually not anymore because he just had another bad pit stop and is out of the picture. I lose the lead on the pit stop now as Larson retakes the lead as the 3rd and final stage is underway here with 61 laps to go in the Food City 500 at Bristol Motor Speedway. As we come through at a turn 2, Larson already clear there. The outside always preferred, but on the restarts definitely would rather be on the inside on that initial first lap of the restart as we come through at a turn 4 now, trying to protect over Denny Hamlin here, who's another driver. He's kind of had a rough start to the season. He still finds himself in the playoffs though, but usually by now Hamlin's already won a couple races, and yet so far this season hasn't won anything now as he's going to take the lead though from Kyle Larson out of turn 4 as he's trying to change that win column from a 0 to a number 1 here today in Bristol. Is Brad Keselowski. He's back back into the picture. He passes me as well as we drop down into P4 as we go down into turn 3, as I'm going to try and follow Keselowski here and get up the inside of our teammate Larson, but can't quite make anything happen right there as we came through now into turn 3, back up the inside of our teammate Larson as we exit turn 4. Hamlin, Keselowski driving away as we come through to start lap 69. Nice. As we dive down into that first turn behind us, we got Tyler Redick, Eric Almirola. Redick having a very strong season. He's had some bad luck though, other than his win, of course, in Las Vegas, which will put him in the playoffs now. As you saw, a bit of a mistake though from me that got DeBenedetto alongside, and he would actually clear us on lap 70 into turn 3, and now he gets up the inside of the 5 of Larson there as we exit turn 4. So now we're down here in P5, and I was really struggling at the start of this third and final stage, and I did not even know why, because I didn't make any changes with the car or anything. It felt fine. I was just a little bit off right here now as we come through at a turn 4, trying to run down Larson now, and sure enough, as we came through on lap 75, we would finally get back up the inside of Larson as Keselowski was trying to drive away now from Denny Hamlin for the lead, as I'm going to try the slide job there again on the 5 of Kyle Larson for the second time, I think that is, here today on him, and sure enough, with 50 laps to go, we move back up into P4 and try to run down at those front 3 cars. A little bit surprised with the lack of speed from that 5 here in this final stage now, as the 21 of Austin Cindric has issues. He's going to go spinning into the outside wall, driver's side into the outside wall, and the caution, surprisingly, doesn't come out. The whole field was coming up on Austin Cindric. As you see right here, I slammed the brakes, and as soon as I hit the brakes, the car just shoots to the right into the outside wall. We do a little bit of damage to the car. Fortunately, it was not that bad, but what a moment that was, as the green flag stays out and closes up Keselowski, Hamlin, DeBenedetto, and myself all together now, as we would come around for another lap here, and Cindric still would be in the way on the track here as we come through at a turn 4. Another check up there. I'm checking up here. Now is going to turn 1 there. You see Cindric finally getting off the racetrack, but I have no idea what that was about. How that was not a caution, I will never know. As we come through though out of turn 2 now on lap 82, all 4 of us were here together. DeBenedetto would actually take the lead. He would pass Hamlin. He passes Keselowski, Austin Dillon in the way. All of a sudden, I go from 4th to 2nd, now making a move for the potential lead here into turn 1 on Matt DeBenedetto as we come through the center and out of turn 2, down this back straightaway, trying to put the pressure on him. Now as we close in, you can see a huge group of lap cars up in front of us now as we come through at a turn 4, passing that 34 of Michael McDowell, and sure enough, we would continue to follow DeBenedetto, who was driving away from me actually. Now as we came through there, you see the new group of lap cars. Byron having a rough day, but Joey Logano, our rival, having a terrible day. Now, as I knew immediately this was going to be a bit of a problem here with passing that number 22 as we go down into turn 3, so I would actually decide to make a 3-wide move around the outside of DeBenedetto on the exit of turn 2, sideways, some contact with him there, but we would take the lead here in Bristol as they were 3 wide behind us for a brief moment for that second position into the back of the 22 there of Logano as we exit turn 4. I had no idea what I was going to do to pass the 22. I decide we're going to try and force it 3 wide here and maybe pinch him out of the corner and actually get sideways, and now Logano forces us into the outside wall there, and now we give up the lead to Keselowski. DeBenedetto goes by as well. We drop down to P3 as I look again to the outside of the 22 of Logano. He crowds us into the wall as we go down into turn 1 through the center of the corner and out of turn 2. Hamlin right behind us. He does not want any part of this now as myself and Logano continue to battle door to door. He puts us in the wall. We rub doors again as we come through out of turn 4 and now into the back of the 10. Logano hits us into the outside wall again as we go into turn 1. The 10 and the 22 sideways. They both save it, but DeBenedetto a bit of a victim there as we exit turn 2. Hamlin would briefly get past us now as we try to calm down a little bit here and try to think about another idea to get past that 22 of Joey Logano. NASCAR, of course, probably not enjoying what they're seeing from that 22 of Logano now as we come through on lap 94. We finally got back up the inside of Hamlin after passing DeBenedetto and moved back up into second place, but Keselowski was long gone at this point now as we come through out of turn 4, doing my best to down, make a move up the inside of the 22 of Logano, trying to catch him a bit off guard, but he crowds us all the way down to the apron, nearly cleans us out, and once again, we cannot pass the 22 of Joey Logano. I was doing my best to not just flat out take him out because we do not want to face the potential suspension from NASCAR, but the way Logano's racing us today, he might be the one facing a suspension going into the next race as he crowds us into the wall once again as we come through the center of 3 and out of turn 4, trying my best to just get enough of a run, but he keeps pinching us just like that into the outside wall now as DeBenedetto forces us 3 wide as we exit turn 2. This is not going to go well, and sure enough, you see the effects once again as we go down into turn 3. Sideways goes the 22. Like I said, I was not going to wreck him right here because I do not want to face that suspension, but what a disaster the 22 was making our race here. You can see the car is just facing all the damage now as we come through out of turn 2, going down the back straightaway on lap 101. Now as Kevin Harvick goes spinning though out of turn 2, and the caution is actually going to come out, sorry, on the front straightaway out of turn 4 that was, as a bunch of cars pile in. The caution is out, and now we will get separated from the 22 of Logano, but he did 4 seconds of damage to our car throughout that whole mess. So definitely might want to keep an eye out to see what NASCAR has to say going into the next episode now, as I do not think they're going to be very pleased with what the 22 was doing right there. Now, as you see, a whole bunch of cars a lap down, and we ended up making the wrong call on the pit lane. So everything just went from bad to worse now, as I took 2 tires and the AI took 4 tires now, as we are back underway. But now I just realized we just gave away the potential victory here in Bristol Motor Speedway, which I don't understand the reasoning behind this here. So we only needed half a can of fuel to make it to the end of this race. And usually in those situations, the AI will take 2 tires, so I decided to take 2 tires, and unfortunately they decided to take 4 tires this time for half a can worth of fuel. So that caught me way off guard, and we are going to just face the mess right off the bat here as we come through into turn 3. You can see all of these drivers getting past the 8 of Redick, DeBenedetto, Keselowski, Larson trying to move up into P3 now, as I had absolutely nothing on the 2-tire disadvantage. Almirola gets past, and we had a McLaren of Erik Jones getting into the mix here in P7, as I was falling like a rock here in the final 16 laps now as we come through out of turn 2. Sideways there, Joey Gase even is going to go by me on the inside. We saw in the pre-race stories of the race that he was going to be fast now as we come through out of the corner. Harvick passes us. We fall outside of the top 10. We have finished in the last 3 races in a row outside of the top 10, and it looks like it's going to happen again here today. As you can see, the car was just driving terribly with only 2 fresh tires now, as I was just hoping a caution would come out as we're side by side with Chase Briscoe into turn 1, and there it is. The 8 of Tyler Reddick loses a tire, spins out into turn 1. The caution comes out now as Harrison Burton's involved as well, as he came down right in front of the 95, as even I got a very small piece of that as I clipped the 8 car. The caution comes out. Of course, we know what we have to do. We have to come in, put 4 tires on the car, and do everything we can to work our way back forwards. Fortunately, there was a bunch of cars a lap down, half the field pretty much, so we get very fortunate and are still up here in P19 for the restart here in Bristol with less than 10 laps to go. Brad Keselowski leads the way. He's got Matt DiBenedetto up in the mix, as well as Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson, and even Erik Jones in the McLaren now up into P5. McLaren has had a very up and down start to their very first season in NASCAR now, as we come through into turn 3. Keselowski went all the way to the top, Hamlin to the bottom, and Denny Hamlin into turn 1. He would take the lead, but then the McLaren of Erik Jones would go to the lead, with Matt DiBenedetto following in behind in second place as we came through to just 4 laps to go, as I was working my way through the field very quickly, passing Elliott, now back up into P13 as we came through to just 3 laps to go. DiBenedetto would take the lead from Erik Jones in the McLaren, and he immediately would open up a gap between himself and the pack here as we were approaching the final couple laps of the Food City 500 here at Bristol Motor Speedway as we exit turn 4, passing the 48 of our teammate of Alex Bowman. Now as we came through a lap and a half to go, Larson has dropped all the way down to 9th place, now holding on to 10th place as DiBenedetto starts the final lap here as we come through to cross the line. 1 lap to go as we look to get into the top 10 for the first time in 4 races as we exit turn 2. The 51 goes sideways on the exit of the corner, and we are going to move through into P8 there as we dive into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. DiBenedetto picks up his first win with Stewart-Haas Racing as we come through to finally get a top 10 again here after some rough races and get P8 now, as we could have been up in the mix for the win if I didn't mess up the pit call there. But Matt DiBenedetto with the victory here in the number 10 Stewart-Haas Racing Ford Mustang, sponsored by Smithfield. Now as you see the rest of the finishing orders, Austin Cindric way at the bottom, unfortunately for him, the rookie, now with that DNF. But what a race that was. Now is you're going to really have to keep an eye out to see what NASCAR says about Joey Logano, and I kind of want to hear you guys' opinions. Should Joey Logano face a suspension for 1 race here in the career mode after what just happened? Let me know in the comment section, because he definitely was just driving way over his head right there in that final stage against us now, and really was helping his teammate Keselowski a lot, of course, but did not do anyone else any favors. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. I do think that Joey Logano is probably going to face a suspension for a race here in the career mode. And honestly, I think that Austin Cindric could probably end up getting a step up for a race to that 22 team or something like that. But we'll have to wait and see now as you see the playoff standings on your screen. Next race, we go to Richmond. I might actually bring out the Spotify paint scheme for the first time this season, made by a community member of ours, Vixen. As you see at the very bottom, though, of the playoff grid, we got Bubba Wallace now. And then Keselowski still on the outside looking in. Harvick, Blaney, a bunch of big names having some interesting seasons here, and I think it's going to continue to be a really interesting season in the career mode from the way things have been. So as always, if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. Before we end this episode, though, I just want to say a quick thank you to the Go In Racing members of MJ, Aiden, Tony, Dylan, Joseph, RJ, Timothy, Bubba Jr., Mr. Johnson, as well as NASCAR on Dogs. You guys help out a lot, and I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.